goodness sakes, I am having technical difficulties. Forgive me. And now I'm having an interruption from the cat. Either wants to get up from the floor or down from the bed. Hang on a sec. What? You want to come down? You want to do the video with me a little bit? Okay. I'm thinking she wants to be a part of tonight's video, whether I like it or not. Oh, goodness, here we go. Sorry. Only makes sense that I'd need a new start because, actually, I'm kind of uneasy about tonight's video. The topic is, have you heard the news? I had an earlier start. I had to cancel it and start over because I got so flustered. Because you know me, I like to be funny and silly and inspiring, and there's some days that doesn't always happen. So this video comes with a trigger alert because it is partially political. It's not political in the sense of one side fighting against the other side. It's more political in the ability to look at things the way we talked about yesterday about critical thinking. And if you missed yesterday, I invite you to go back and take a look at that video because it does talk about understanding and thinking in a way that will help you to make good decisions. So go ahead and you can look at that up on YouTube or scroll back down from wherever you are on Facebook. So, and I wasn't going to do the National Day calendar, but I needed to for another reason. Today is National Tortilla Chip Day, National Chili Day, and National Toast Day. Well, I already had toast for breakfast, and I had tortilla chips with salsa and with cheese sauce this afternoon, playing mahjong with my sister and my friends. And I had chili yesterday, so that kind of means I got everything in that cupboard. You know, that's Mexican food. You know, Mexicans get a lot of flack because they are looking for a better life by coming to the United States. And they need a new start, and we need them. Now, I know you may, put in a trigger alert, have to repeat it. You may be triggered because part of this is politics. And if you are triggered by politics and we think differently politically, I invite you not to watch it because I don't want anything to interfere with our relationship. If you feel you can listen to it, and this is not about debating or fighting. This is about expressing how critical thinking works in our world and our political scene. This is probably going to be my first video in the series called Politiphysics, which is the metaphysics of politics. Yeah, that's coming your way. Coming your way! If you don't like the thought of talking about politics, okay, it is what it is, and it will be what it will be. And if it's going to interfere in our relationship, I invite you to let it go. If you want to listen, not to criticism, but to critical thinking, I really invite and encourage you to stay with me so that we can look together at this. Hi, Kathy. So glad you're here with me tonight. All right. So the topic was, have you heard the news? But it's not just about hearing the news. A lot of people don't like to hear the news. It's depressing. It's scary. Sometimes terrifying. Yet, if we don't listen to the news, if we don't read up on it, if we don't educate ourselves, we are in grave danger, personally, politically, physically and environmentally. Now, not all news is good news. I'll tell you that right now. When I say good news, reliable news. We're in a time now where people cannot tell the difference between real news and fake news, and so it's really hard, you know. I usually say to you, how you doing? How was your day? How was your night last night? And like I said, for me, it was a good day. I was happy at the end of the day. I'd had a conversation with my daughter on the phone and spoken earlier with my son and his wife, and so I was doing pretty good. And then I went and I had to check something online. So when I went online to check, I know what I was doing. I was posting my video from last night. And one of the things I do is put it on Twitter. So I did all the stuff I have to do to get it up on YouTube. And from YouTube, they tell you, do you want to share it on Twitter? And I said yes. When I went to Twitter, right below my post, or my tweet, as it would be, right below that was a tweet from a woman who said, I cannot sleep tonight. It's 2:30 in the morning. Nobody can sleep. We are in the Ukraine. And my heart ached. I did not know this woman, but I would have loved to have had the opportunity to embrace her and to tell her it's going to be okay. I'm going to do that. I didn't know what would be happening by morning. But I sent her a prayer. I sent her my affirmation that, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. And I told her that I would be praying with her, that all of us, well, most of us in America, were praying for her. It's because of that I had to share this message, and I may go overtime. And frankly, just bug out anytime you have to. I have to finish this message today because we are in such a difficult time. All right, so what are you hearing when you turn on the news? Are you hearing news? Are you hearing an opinion? Remember yesterday when we talked about critical thinking and how critical thinking is based on factual, true things, observations, putting all the facts together and then coming to a conclusion. Whereas subjective thought is about what you want, what you think, what you feel, what you like, and what you don't like. It's about opinion, and it's personal. Critical thinking is principle. The division in our country, and it's been bubbling up for a long time, and here's a perfect example. If you don't address it, if you don't get to the cause, it's going to get bigger and bigger, and now we are looking at, it's like a boil that's ready to pop, and what will happen when that boil pops. Well, in the Ukraine right now, they are having an experience of not having critical thinking at work because Putin has been able to do the things he's done. And, all right, so one of the questions a lot of people have is, why are we helping other countries when we have got so many problems right here in the United States? Let me answer that. The reason we are helping other countries is because we are a part of a greater whole. We are a part of them. We are an organism on an ecosphere that depends on it all working together. Example, your physical body. If your physical body is all different, but it's all working together for the good of the whole. This is why we cannot say we're the best country or anything else like that. We are a part of a greater whole. And there is no part that is better than any other part. Just like it says, in the Bible, it said each part has its own function. And the hand cannot say to the foot, I have no need of you. And the liver cannot say to the kidney, I have no need of you. I don't think they had it down to livers and kidneys back then, but it's very true. Your eyes can't say to the mouth, I have no need of you. We need it all. And in order to have peace on earth through goodwill of men, we have to work together for the highest good of the whole. It is in the lower personal human thinking and human emotions that all the danger comes up. That's where the 7 deadly sins are. Why do they call them deadly? They are not interested in the good of the whole, only the individual. And that's a topic for another day. This is probably going to be the first video of my series on politiphysics, which is the metaphysics of politics. I made that up myself, just saying. All right, so we are a global community. And the only thing I can think of to do right now is just begin to present thoughts for you to consider, okay? I have a knot in my gut right now. And it's not because I don't think there's a God. I don't think God has all the power. I don't think God can do it. It's because we are here to learn to be our godly selves, to be the children of God we were born to be, which means we take care of each other. In the metaphorical or metaphysical explanation, Adam and Eve got booted out of paradise because they wanted to be God and take the shortcut of eating this fruit, whatever it was. There's no shortcut to spiritual maturity. There is no shortcut to Christhood. We have that spark of divinity in us, but it's up to us to express it. The little bit of peace I get as we're going into this particular thing is the fact that it's not the United States against Putin. It's not the United States and Ukraine against Putin. It is the Ukraine with the support of the United Nations, which includes the United States. See, with the United Nations, if you attack one, you attack all. So we're trying to find ways to protect each other. That's really what it's like, isn't it? That's like the brain and the nervous system. The brain and the nervous system, they're right there, chugging along. The nervous system saying, hey, something's wrong over here. And the brain saying, okay, let's take a look at it. Let's see what it is. A little critical thinking. And then see what the body needs to proceed to heal, okay? If we pay no attention to it, if we are numb, and when we are in lower consciousness, we are numb to the needs of the whole, okay? I want to point out something. You're not going to want to hear it. This is a trigger point, so take a breath, and I'm asking you to please bear with me through this. If you recall, and if you don't recall, you can look back and check the news reports, the records, all of it. The previous president wanted to get us out of NATO. Factually speaking, the previous president was supported by Russia in obtaining the presidency. The previous president loves dictators. Kim Jong-un, he's got a love letter from him. Well, he had it. He kind of stole it when he wasn't supposed to take it. These are facts. These are not opinions. If you're listening to most of the Fox News, now I'm not saying all the affiliates, I'm saying Fox News itself. If you're listening to that, Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, and all those folks, you're getting opinions. Those are not news programs. Those are opinion programs. They call it Fox News, but it is actually not a news station. It's an opinion station. There are news parts of it. What was his name? Shepard Smith, I think. Shepard Smith was a part of the actual news. And I can't think of the name of the other guys that left because they did not want to have to present news that was going to be adulterated by the opinion people. Okay? There's only one truth. Different people have different perspectives of it as we come into a greater understanding. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, said, "I reserve my right to change my mind according to my ever-unfolding consciousness." So we take all the facts we have everything that we have to work with at the moment, and we stand on that. And we stand up for it. Well, a lot of people don't want to stand up for it. They're, oh, no, I don't want anybody to get mad at me. Well, I am risking people I know and I love that watch my videos, who I absolutely know do not see things the way I do. But I do have a practice with them. We don't talk about it. And they do have the right to turn this off if they want. All right, let's move on. I want to ask you a real important question. This is what everything hinges on. Who will benefit? Who is benefiting by the United States being divided? I want you to think about that for a minute. Who will benefit from the United States being divided? Have you thought about it? We got Putin. We got North Korea. We've got all different people that are more into fascism and dictatorships than democracy. So the Ukraine, which is being attacked, is a democracy. That means the people have a say in their government. And this is why I tell all of you guys, please, this is a government of, by, and for the people. You are the people. If you are not informed, if you are not active, if you do not vote, then you are not fulfilling your obligation, your right, and your privilege of living in a democracy. Here's a scary little thought. All those immigrants that people complain about, guess where they're immigrating from? Countries with fascist dictators. They want to get out of tyranny. They want to come to a country where they have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They want their children to have good lives. And you know what, folks? They're willing to do jobs that we think we're too good to do. When we had and not all of them even want to stay. Migrant workers come in, they do the work, they go home. Yeah, they send the money home to their families, but they came and they earned it and they paid taxes on it, okay? So we're making immigrants out to be like they're here to take advantage of us. This is symbiotic. It's a symbiotic relationship. It is not a parasitic relationship, okay? So again, why are we, some of the people in this country, including the former president and the far right, why are they wanting to honor Putin? They prefer a fascist type of what do you call it? Political party choice, whatever. I call it government. There we go. I knew it was in there somewhere. So they want that. They want someone. I don't think they know. That's just the whole thing. I think they're like sleeping children. Do you ever see those? Do you ever see those horror movies where this guy's got this beautiful woman? It's always a guy and a beautiful woman, you know. And she turns and she's looking out the window at the stars and the moon, and he comes behind her and he bends down and he kisses her on the neck. And he turns her to face him. And it's a horrible, ugly, you know, ghoulish thing. See, that's what's happening right now. People are wooed by the lower consciousness, the personality before principle. And it's not going anywhere good. And we are either going to be, each one of us, a part of the problem or a part of the solution. What is your choice? Do you want to be a part of the problem or a part of the solution? I'm going to tell you something that many of you do that makes my heart ache. This is not about guilt, okay? Do not start packing up for a guilt trip. This is about something that we don't always realize. Remember yesterday we were talking about being conscious? Are you conscious? Are you aware of what's happening? And you can ask you the question, if you're one of the people that does what I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to ask you to search your own heart, to answer your own questions, and make decisions that you want to make. I am very big on posting silly things, warm and fuzzy things, stupid things, and every once in a while, I will post, well, more than every once in a while, I will post an article of valid, very important information. But what I find is that the likes and the shares are on the cutesy kitten things, the joke things, whereas the serious things I post wind up ignored. And if you know me, and I've been on Facebook forever, that I don't post nasty memes and I don't post lies. And if I post it and you find out it's not true, let me know. Number one, I'll apologize. Number two, I'll remove it, okay? Try to find something that I posted that was wrong or not acceptable. Plenty of people tell me if I'm wrong. That's the benefit of being a spiritually awakened person. You know you're not perfect, so when you make a mistake, critical thinking, what are the facts behind that? Is that true or is that opinion? And if it's true, that's the time to make the apology or whatever you need to do. If you've heard about what happened, some of the things that happened in the Ukraine, one of these things, you probably heard about the little green men, and they were not aliens. They were aliens to the Ukraine, but they were not space aliens. But they just kind of showed up in town in their non-marked uniforms with their guns, and they kind of just moved into town and took over. And then Putin sent more and more people all around the borders of the Ukraine. The former president praised him, said it was genius, and said he was practicing peacemaking. Really? What's happening there has nothing to do with peace. It has to do with taking over. It has to do with taking something that is not yours for your own benefit. Okay. Sorry, I just have to... I invite you to look at the people who are supporting the former administration. And a lot of them are QAnon. And what am I supposed to say right now? For entertainment purposes only. This is for entertainment. It is for you to ponder, not telling you what you must do. Okay. Think on this. Now I got lost. Phooey. Shoot. I don't know. I'll have to come back to it. I know it'll come back. Okay, for those of you who have children and grandchildren, I'd like you to close your eyes for a minute and to see their faces. What do you want for their future? Do you want to have them living in the land of the free and the home of the brave? In a place where they can grow up to be anything they want? Where they can pursue life and liberty and happiness as it is in their very heart to be? Or do you want to see them in a fascist government where they are controlled from the outer and told how to think and told what to do, and you don't have a choice of picking a news station because there's only one, and that is state TV, state radio, state newspapers? If you knew, if you ever watch YouTube, they got a lot of shows on it, if you were aware of how little the people in North Korea know about our lives, about the good things we have, that they're in a dictatorship. They're not allowed. They're not even allowed to come and go as they choose. What do you want for your children? Critical thinking today is critical. Critical thinking has to do with verifiable facts. And on anything I say to you tonight, I invite you to go look it up. You know, a lot of people, there's this thing, and people make jokes about it because even the conspiracy theorists say, do your research, do your research. Now, are you researching to find something that agrees with what you think? Or are you looking for something that may even challenge what you think? You know, if you have your ego involved in that, your thinking can be challenged by something new, and in that you can expand your awareness. I have to go put Tishy back on the bed. I'll be right back. Oh, my key cat. Oh, my key cat. Come here. Come here. There you go. There you go. Woo. Sorry about that. Okay. One of the things that we have to deal with, and I'm saying have to deal with, I didn't think we were going to have to deal with this as of November 2020, but it's still haunting us. The previous administration or administrator is vengeful. He tries to go after and punish anybody that stood against him. Is that a democracy? Let's apply some critical thinking to it. Were there facts that gave cause for such behavior? Or was it just rage? Now, you notice that Trump is not supportive. Oh, I said the name. The previous president is not supportive of the Ukraine. If you go back to 2019, you remember that he threatened to hold money back that was supposed to go to the Ukraine, and that Congress had given for the Ukraine, that he held it back. He threatened to hold it back. He couldn't, because it was already designated. But he threatened to hold it back if the Ukraine would not dig up dirt on Joe Biden and his family. So, do you think he really cares about the Ukraine being in trouble now? This is called critical thinking. Do the math. One of the ways that he is punishing anyone that voted against him, or that anyone that does not buy into the big lie that the election was stolen, which there is factual evidence that that's not so. But he has gone after each one of them. They've quit their jobs. They have withdrawn their candidacy. And he has also supported candidates to go against them. He's given them, oh yes, I'm endorsing them. These people very often are conspiracy theorists who they're not qualified. Now, if they were qualified, knew what they were doing, how could you fight that? But if someone is being encouraged and endorsed for a position that they are not in any position to do, it's vengeance. What did God say? Revenge is mine, saith the Lord. It's not ours to do. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just going on and on. And I'm sorry that I'm really scattered tonight. But I had so many things that I really wanted to get to while we were in the shock and horror of what is happening in the Ukraine. I haven't heard any updates about what the former person said about Putin right now, because he said he was a peacemaker. He was a genius. Well, you tell that to the people who can't sleep. You tell that to the people who are dying. You tell that to the people who hold their children tight and don't know what tomorrow is going to hold for them. Okay, I thought I already did some of this already. Putin hates democracy. He doesn't want democracy. He wants dictatorship. So do a lot of the other ones. I read a piece today. I don't know if it was factual or not. I didn't have a chance to check it, but it said that China was taking Taiwan, taking advantage of the Ukraine situation and taking Taiwan. That's another dictatorship, okay? We are living in a toxic political culture. Can we pull ourselves out of it? We cannot if we play see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. We have to be willing to take a good, long, hard, critical thinking look at anything that is evil. What is evil? A lot of unity ministers like myself, well, they're not like myself because a lot of people say there is no evil. Ultimately, there isn't. Everything is cause and effect on an evolutionary path until we reach the point where we overcome the tendency to practice that whatever is not in alignment with the highest good of the whole. Here's a hard truth. Our future is being shaped right now. And we are a part of that shaping. Those of you who've known me for a while have heard me say this 100 times, and I'll say it 100,000 times more. We are mutually accountable and collectively responsible for ourselves and everyone and everything on the planet and beyond. I'm going to invite and encourage you to come up higher, to lift your thinking from the lower human thought and limitation and human emotions, from egocentric. Lift yourselves up. Step back far enough to see a bigger picture, the good of the whole. We have to do a daily examination of our own lives and to take a look at what we did that was great. You know, when I was still in the Catholic Church, we'd go to confession, and I would do this I didn't go to confession every night, but every night before I went to bed, I would go over the 10 Commandments. And I'd ask myself, did I do this? Did I do that? Did I do that? Did I do that? And you know, when you go to the confessional, I'd be there about, okay, let's see, I did this and I did that. Sometimes I had to make stuff up. Could you imagine making up bad stuff you did because you had to have something to tell the priest? Hey, I wasn't that perfect. I did plenty of bad stuff, so don't go off in a different direction on that. But let's examine our lives. Is the way I behave today good for the whole? Did I hurt anybody? Did I help anybody? Did I do something good for the planet? The thoughts I held and the thoughts I shared, were they to be creative and help others? Or did I share anger and rage? Did I lie? Did I gossip? If you want to create, it starts, remember the peace song? Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let it begin with me. Let it begin with you. With everything you do, reflect on your life and the mistakes that you've made. There is a system, and the system is that you acknowledge it and that you make amends. That you acknowledge, admit it happened, repent, which means think differently. To repent is to rethink. Rethink what happened and could you have done it a different way? And then make amends. Making amends is great. It makes you feel so good. Sometimes it's just saying to someone, I was wrong. Sometimes it's writing it in a letter and burning it. But that's a part of it. You think amends, it's mending. Mending. So if you've got someone you've got to make amends with, think of it as mending. Mending the relationship. Then I want to ask you, do you realize that we're one? Are there ways that you can look at the people on the planet and to know that we're one? What are our prejudices? A prejudice is to prejudge. Now, we may prejudge something on someone gossip to us. That's not fair to them. We might prejudge someone because of their race, their culture, their lifestyle. Do you know how to overcome a lot of that? Get to know different people. How many black people do you know? How many Indians? How many Sufis? How many Muslims? How many people of the opposite political party? We're still one. We can deny it till the cows come home. Doesn't matter how much you deny a truth, it's still true. Deny gravity. Go right ahead. We talked about that last night. Meet some people that live life differently. And then know that your mind is powerful and it is yours to control. I invite you to pay attention to your thoughts. I have a friend who had a watch, and that watch could be set for random alarms. And every time that random alarm went off, she'd go, what am I thinking about? Where is my mind? Where are my thoughts, you know? And to look at some of the thoughts that you hold, and to remember the thoughts we consistently hold in our mind become our life experience. For better or worse. It doesn't have to be true to factual, to critical thinking. It doesn't have to be true that you are a beautiful, beloved, you already are a beautiful, beloved child of God. That's a fact, okay? That's critical thinking, that's a fact. But if you think you are ugly and dirty and unworthy, that's your problem. That's what you can heal. Be careful of what you let into your mind. Watch out for violence, because violence breeds violence. You don't have to believe me. Observe it. Critical thinking. Watch and see. Well, I know I went way over time tonight, but I thank you for bearing with me. I pray that I did not estrange myself to anyone tonight. I pray you still love me. I am going to be doing more on politiphysics, which is the political aspects of metaphysics, or the metaphysical aspects of politics. And you don't have to watch those. I'm going to separate politiphysics from my usual videos, and there may or may not be as many. It depends on what goes on out there in the world. In the meantime, as we go through the challenging times and the fear for the future so many of us are experiencing, hold in your heart, in your mind, two things. Not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. And the other, for this I was born. For this I have come in to the world. And that's for you, and it's for me. If you ever feel weak, like you don't know what to do, remember, you were born for this. You were born to be an agent of positive change in the world. Thanks for listening. Be good. Don't know if I'll have power tomorrow, because we don't know what's going to happen with a storm that's supposed to come in later. But God bless you. Bye-bye.